Hello, everyone. Rod sharing and mental health. From my time doing ride share, the many rides I did, I had a lot of different experiences. One of the main experiences that I came away with almost majority of the rides were mental health, like improving it, understanding the importance of it beyond myself, understanding that people go through things that I couldn't even fathom. Some things were said to me, just when people vent. Then other things they didn't even have to be said. I could just feel it. Um, it was just it was a heck of an experience from individuals hopping in my back seat, talking to someone, then hanging up the phone, and I could hear him or her mumbling underneath their breath because whoever they were conversing with on the phone was getting on their nerves. Um, I heard people trying to close deals falling through at the last minute. And then there were deals that people were making um, where it closed and people were ecstatic. It was a few deals that were closed in the afternoon, and the way the man and the woman were celebrating on the property, it was just like you would have thought the sun had already set and they were about to go throw back some drinks, but it was always a interesting, and I mean interesting ride. Um, it was positive. It was some negative things, like some negative clients that got into my car and had some stuff that they were going through. Um, but by the end of the trip, some of the times, they were in better spirits just from talking about it. It was almost as if they were thinking out loud. I think it helped because I was never one to judge. I would just listen. And if I even thought about interjecting, I would make sure that he or she was done with their thoughts. And there were a few times where, you hear some information that someone shares with you, and like you're just silent because you're like, you have to take it in, you have to like let it run through you like a electrical current, and just like, it's just like a silence, like a eerie silence, not like in a horror movie. When you're in the movie theater and you're watching a good horror movie, let's say like Saw or what's the other movie? The Purge, one of the classics. But once I gather my thoughts, sometimes I was just left saying, well, there's a solution. And sometimes, flat out, sometimes a client didn't want to hear no solution. There was one time there was a woman saying she didn't want to hear no solution. And then the man, on another different occasion, he was saying that he didn't want to hear no solution. Now, when the man said it, I was kind of taken aback. But then again, I was like, hey, he's human too. And this is probably his moment. This is what I was thinking to myself. It was probably his moment to like complain, and I figured like, hey, well, he may complain now, and then by the time he get home, he'll have it out of his system. Then he can proceed accordingly. Um, of course, I mean, I would never know, but then even with the woman, I wasn't really surprised that how she was responding because of her makeup, you know. But even after a while, she wanted, she was open to hearing solutions about, her problem and the issue that that she had just got back into town, and she had just came from California. They had left her luggage, like her luggage, it left California, but somehow it got lost in transit and never made it to Dallas. From what she told me, she had a lot of high quality shoes, and you know how the ladies are about their shoes, depending on the brand, depending on the kind of the heel, and just money spent. You don't want to, don't want to. You want to have what you pay for, because she was saying that she had went out there for business to close the deal, and she had just went shopping like 2 days prior. I was like, I get it, but I told her, hey, on the bright side, you can always get it again, you know. And believe it or not, she was like, yeah, she can get it again, but the anticipation of arriving off the plane, waiting to get your bag, only to wait till the carousel stop running, and then you go to the little area and let them know that, hey, never got the bag, and you get wind that, hey, we lost your bag, and we'll give you a call if we can find it. And she had insurance on it, so she was cool, but that can be taxing. Um, I think ride sharing and mental health goes hand in hand. For me, when I was driving, and even for the clients, you know, um, there were times where I got in my vehicle and I thought I was enduring something that was difficult or challenging, and it was, but not to the extreme of the clients when they hopped into my car. It kind of helped put things in a better perspective. Like I heard some stories where I got out the car and I was like, "Oh, I'm doing okay. It's okay. I'm gonna be all right." I was gonna be all right regardless, but it's kind of like everyone, in my opinion, understand like everyone's going through something. Sometimes in the United States we say first world problems, but no matter if they first world problems or major problems, there's still problems nonetheless. For every yin is a yang. So, for every person that's driving, there's someone that's not driving. For every person that's walking, there's someone that can't walk, and so on and so on. So it just opened me up to, just listening more, and just wanting to know about my clients more when they get into the car. Not like being intrusive or anything, but just ask them certain questions, chop it up with them if they want to talk. And if they didn't want to talk, I wouldn't say anything, and I would just get them to their destination. And no matter if we were conversing, or if we were in silence, or even if they had their earbuds in, listening to their music, it was all helping with their mental health. And even the ones that would get in my car and when they wouldn't speak or when they wasn't listening to music, they were falling asleep. They say sleep is good for the body, so in turn, that had to help with their mental health. You know, take a little power nap, put their trust in me to get them from point A to point D. And I say point A to point D because it's one of them 45 to an hour drives. Not knowing who I am, just going to sleep, having that much confidence in me to get them to where I need to get them. But hey, when the body's tired and when that mind needs to be reset, that's where that ride sharing comes in hand. So even me from the other side, there's been times I took ride share. Someone was driving me, and my mental health got improved because just for a moment I could take my eyes off the road. I could just sit back and relax. I didn't even have to say where I was going, as they didn't when they hopped in my car because everything was on the app as it is now. So it's just like kind of like no worries. It's putting trust into strangers. Strangers put trust in me. But with ride sharing and mental health, strangers, we all help each other. But yeah, that's all for today. Uh, Hope you all like the content. And if you like the content, like, share, and subscribe. And have a good tomorrow. Later.